Day 43 here on Upschool's live video channel. We're talking about freedom and security for entrepreneurs. What does that mean? Hope you're doing well. It's Sunday evening here in Tokyo, Japan. I'm just about to get onto a flight. Well, I'm packing. I'm on my flight tomorrow, heading to London for a couple of weeks. I've got an event in London. I'm going to tell you about that event in a minute. But what are we talking about? We're talking about freedom and security. And why are we talking about this? Well, I think it's a choice that we entrepreneurs make, especially us lifestyle entrepreneurs. And what do I mean by a lifestyle entrepreneur? A lifestyle entrepreneur meaning somebody who wants to earn six figures doing what they love. It's as simple as that. And the way they do that is build a lifestyle business. So it's really a choice of freedom. It's a choice of that entrepreneur, whether it's you or me. We choose freedom because that's why we build this business. That's the most important thing. Making money helps us become free, but making money isn't the goal of that business. We don't grow the business to sell the business. The goal of the business isn't an exit. The goal of the business, as our friend Seth Godin says, is to keep playing the game. So if you build the business properly, your reward is you keep doing what you love until they bury you in a casket. So that's what freedom is about. As Bob Dylan says, a man is a success if he gets up in the morning, goes to bed at night, and in between he does what the hell he likes. To me, that's a great definition of success. You know, you do what the hell you like and you build a business that enables you to do it. That's financial and creative freedom. And I go into a bit more depth about that in my Entrepreneur Upgrade course. So let's talk about freedom and security, because I think this is really important to understand, is that the opposite of security is freedom. And the opposite of freedom is security. That seems strange because it's not kind of how we've been taught. You know, you think of job security, financial security, relationship security, all those kind of things as goals that we strive for and are sort of indoctrinated into us through our education system. Job security, get a job at a good company who's going to look after you and make your way in that company for however many years and have a secure career. Financial security is, buy a house, save money, pay off the mortgage on that house. So those are goals which the system kind of encourages us to strive towards. And I want to put this idea out today and share this idea with you that actually that's the opposite of freedom. There's a saying here in Japan, and I'll say it in Japanese first because it doesn't translate directly, but it's something like "I no naka no kawazu, umi o shirazu," something like that, which basically says the frog who lives in the well doesn't know the sea or doesn't know the ocean. So the frog who lives in the well doesn't know the sea. I think there's an equivalent in the West. It's the frog who lives in the well doesn't see the sea. But you get it. And what's interesting is that frog is most people, because the well, that dark, dank, cold place, is safe. The frog who lives in the well chooses to live in the well. That's the important thing. He chooses to live in the well because it's comfortable. Nothing can go wrong in there. But you can spend a whole life living in the well, not knowing about the sea. What kind of a life is that? And I think it's the same for us entrepreneurs, right? When I look at the salaried world, I think of frogs living in the well. It's safe, it's secure, it's a small world which you can master and dominate. You can become king of that small little world. However, the magic is out there in the sea. The sea is a completely different environment. It's expansive, it's massive, it's noisy, it's dangerous, but it's alive. And that's what we entrepreneurs have to strive for. Freedom. So my point is this, that to become more free, to have a business that gives you freedom, to have more freedom in your life, it's not a case of doing more. It's a case of giving up security. Giving up the things that give other people security. So, what do we have to give up? Well, for example, we need to give up comfort. If we want to be successful, we have to get, familiar. We have to be able to thrive in a world which is a little bit scary. Like starting a new business is very scary indeed. And for many people, it's too scary. It's outside the well. So that's why we have to get familiar with that feeling of fear, and not necessarily crush fear, not necessarily push fear aside, not necessarily push fear out of our life, but just to get familiar with it and to dance with it. Because I'm sure every top level athlete or public speaker or performer or musician still feels fear every time they go on stage. You'll never get rid of that fear. But the point is, what the frog does is trying to live in a world where they never get exposed to fear, because they don't like that feeling. Whereas what we lifestyle entrepreneurs need to do is push ourselves into situations and environments where we feel that fear. And as a result of feeling it, we realize that actually that's not fatal. And as a result, we grow as individuals. There's a great saying that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. 99% of the people out there live in a comfort zone. And that's my advice to entrepreneurs, is don't try and justify what you're doing to people who live in comfort zones. One of the biggest problems I see entrepreneurs face, and I face this myself, is trying to justify, convince, convert, whatever word works in this situation, people around you that what you're doing is the right thing. And they don't get it because their drive is security. They're frogs living in that well. And you're telling them you're out there surfing on the ocean. They don't want to know. It may be good, but they'd rather not know than hear anything about the ocean. Because as soon as they understand that there's an ocean out there, they start to question, why the hell am I living in this tiny little well? I don't want to live near the ocean because it's dangerous, it's risky, everything can go wrong. I like it in here. So when you try and convert people or convince people or tell people about your goals, your plans, your business ideas, and those people are frogs who live in that little well, what you're doing is you are threatening them. Because even though you may be a friend or family member and they want what's best for you, ultimately what you're doing is you're planting a big question in their mind as to why the hell aren't they doing this themselves. So more than their desire to help you and support you and praise you for what you're doing is their desire to eliminate that discomfort that they feel by being exposed for not seizing on their own dreams in life. So my advice to entrepreneurs is not to try and convince people who don't get it. And this is one of the biggest areas of energy wasted for us entrepreneurs, is banging our head against that wall, trying to tell people about what we're doing, when the people that we're trying to tell just aren't ready. Don't convert the unconverted. Don't sell to the unsold. There's a great Rumi quote, and I've used this before, and I'll use it again. Set your life on fire. Seek those who fan your flames. Imagine a world where you were surrounded by people who thrived in that environment, who wanted freedom, who didn't want more security in their lives, who wanted to take risks, who embraced risks, who supported other people who went out and faced that struggle that is launching a business or growing a business. People who thrived off that energy, they would then multiply each other's energies when they got together. Imagine that kind of peer group that you lived in and operated in. You can choose that. You can choose to be in that scenario. You just have to understand that save your energies for those people and not the people who live in that well, not the little frogs. Because all your talk about finding your passion or following your dreams or building a better reality, all that talk may sound like good for the average person and a way for those people to solve 95% of the problems in their lives and lead a better life. But we have to realize that these people aren't ready. And if you share that kind of information with them, they will turn against you. They may say, oh, yeah, no, that's great. But secretly, they're eating their heart out. And when you fail, they're going to be telling you, I told you so. Oh, you've had your little exploration, your little adventure. Now it's time to come back into the fold and be normal like the rest of us. Now, we have to remember that we human beings are social beings by design. We don't like being outside the group. So if you are outside the group, and if you're an entrepreneur, you are outside the group, you are an outlier. That is the security you've given up. You've given up the security of the group to become an outlier. Now, the key here is redefining, reinventing your group, because you cannot survive outside the group forever. The reason you cannot survive outside the group forever is because we are social beings, and we will edit ourselves and we will change what we think and what we feel and what we do to bring ourselves some kind of social proof and social recognition. We will move ourselves back into a social group by default, whether we like it or not, if we do not have a social group to belong to. So therefore, we have to reinvent and reignite, redefine our social groups. And that's why, if you want to become more free, if you want a freedom business, if you want to become a lifestyle entrepreneur, the most important thing out of all of this is to hang around with other lifestyle entrepreneurs. That is the key to success. Redefine your peer group. Find those people to hang around with. You can't change your family, and in some cases you can't change some of your friends. But what you can do is not waste your energies on them. Invest your energies on those people that get it. Invest your energies in the people that you say to you when you start talking about freedom and building a better reality and all those kind of crazy, wacky things that the other people look at and think, oh, I don't know, that sounds a bit like a weird cult or Tony Robbins. When you start coming out with that stuff, you want to find the people that get ignited by that. The people that go, wow, yeah, no, let's do this. Tell me more. Ask you questions. They're not saying, yeah, but. It's the yeah, buts. Beware the yeah, buts. The yes, but people are the people that live in the well. They're the ones that you give them an idea and their first reaction is not, okay, let me consider this idea for a minute. Let me consider this idea without judging it. Their first reaction is yes, but. And they will say that in emails, chat messages, and in conversation. Yes, but. Because their first reaction is one of rejection. They want to push an idea away. They cannot take an idea in because it's like something coming into that little well. The well is a very small place. And the only way they can protect that little world is to just block it off and say yes, but to everything that wants to get into the well. New ideas, new people, new concepts. So, security versus freedom. Hopefully that was useful. My advice to you today is surround yourself with good people. People who get it. People who chase freedom and not security. Because the more people that you have in your life that are driven by security, the more you too will be driven by security. The more you're driven by security, the more freedom you will give up, because these two are mutually exclusive. So I'm finishing up. What else do we have coming up? It's day 43 today. Day 46, which is, no, I've got that wrong. Day 47, whatever it is, Thursday, webinar day. You're going to join me on... I've got that completely wrong. I'm sorry. Wednesday is webinar day. I was just looking at my notes. Webinar, Wednesday. And I said Thursday. Webinar Wednesday. We're talking about building products that customers love. I spent 20 years as a marketing consultant working for some of the biggest brands in the world, like the Nokias, the Vodafones, the MTVs, the Disneys, helping them design products that customers love. I want to share some of that insight on Wednesday for us lifestyle entrepreneurs, because you may be a Disney or you may be a lifestyle entrepreneur. At the end of the day, you've got to deliver value for your customer, right? That's the same. Except that Disney's got a few $1 billion to do it. Us lifestyle entrepreneurs just have to be a little bit more creative. So that's Wednesday, the webinar, which you can join. If you go to my channel, you can see the webinar, like a yellow placeholder. You can set reminder on that webinar. So when the webinar goes live, you can get an email, go straight to the webinar, drop in, join me for a live Q&A on how to build customers that your products love. Or start that again. How to build customers that your products love. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So that's Wednesday, how to build products that your customers love. So if you want kind of insights from all those great brands that I shared with you, insights from Disney, Starbucks, MTV, people who really understand their customers, and how we can apply that to the world of lifestyle entrepreneurs, that's going to be on Wednesday. So don't miss out. And then if you're in London, Thursday, the 23rd of February, back to my point about security and freedom, the number one goal we should pursue as entrepreneurs is to surround ourselves with good people. Lifestyle entrepreneurs more than anybody else. We need to work together because we are often individuals or people working in very small teams, so we need each other. We're on the outside here, so let's redefine our own little peer groups. Because if we don't, we'll be given the default peer groups of our lives, which are people who aren't necessarily on the same wavelength. People who are driven by security, not freedom. So that's Thursday the 23rd in London. And if you want to join me, it's going to be an informal meetup, coffee, beer, that kind of thing. Go to upschool.io and you see the link to the events section, which will link you through to the meetup.com website for London. You sign up to that and I'll see you there. So it's day 43, guys. I am getting ready to get on a plane, fly across the world, but Upschool doesn't stop. I may have to stop for the day that I'm on the plane because we haven't quite yet worked out how to do live broadcasts from 30,000 feet up. I don't think the Wi-Fi is good enough. Or if it is, it's going to cost me a fortune. And I certainly don't think the bandwidth is going to be good enough for this kind of equipment. You know, I need 3 laptops here, 1 mic, 1 webcam. It ain't going to work, is it? So I'll catch you on the day after. So I'm going to be here Monday. Tuesday, I may or may not be broadcasting. Wednesday, we're back with the webinar. So hopefully, I'll catch you tomorrow, but I'll also catch you on Wednesday as well. 2017, guys, make it the best year yet. My name's Graham Brown. This is Upschool, and we continue business as usual tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next day, day 44, and then look forward to seeing you Wednesday at the webinar.